Should you trade crypto or stocks in 2025 and beyond? Listen, if you're thinking about getting into trading in 2025 and beyond, you're probably wondering yourself, should I trade crypto or stick with traditional stocks? Well, I've been trading both for over 20 years, and I regularly have six-figure months live in front of our private mastermind members while helping them, hundreds of them, replace their six-figure incomes in as little as 60 to 90 days. I mean, we are going into the digital age, but here's what most people don't realize. One of these markets potentially replace your entire income working just 4 hours per week, while the other kind of keeps you glued and chained to your computer during market hours. Now, legally, I have to tell you, trading is risky in general. Crypto is risky. Don't take anything I say as financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes, etc. However, in this video, I am going to give you the brutal truth about which market gives serious entrepreneurs and business owners the best shot at building real wealth. Now, here's why most people choose wrong. The biggest mistake I see people make: they come into trading, they throw a lot of money in the stock market, they try their hand at options trading, they get totally wrecked because they don't understand expirations, they don't understand how much money they actually have to make a little bit of money in the stock market. Now, in the stock market, it's a little different than the crypto market. First of all, there's a lot of rules in the stock market. There's day trading rules. There's minimums. You have to have at least $25,000 in your trading account in order to even be considered a day trader. To get past the day trading rules where you can only trade so many trades in a month or even in a week. So that's restricting a lot of people, right? If you have a lot of money already, let's just say you go into the stock market and you want to trade Apple or Tesla stock. In order for you to make a 1% to 2% move in the market, you got to have $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 just to make a measly $500 to $1,000. Now, with leverage or with options trading, you can do much better, but you better know what you're doing, because if you don't understand expiration dates and how to trade options, you can lose a lot of money very quickly. On the other hand, in the crypto space, you can trade with as little or as much as you want. There are no day trading rules. There are no limited number of trades that you can make. You can trade hundreds of times per day if you want, and you can trade with up to 100x leverage. So what does that mean, leverage? Well, leverage in the crypto space, in the decentralized trading platforms, specifically perpetual futures contracts, you can take $5,000, $10,000 and trade as if you have $50,000 or $100,000. Okay, how does that help you? Well, if the market goes in the direction you want it to do, and let's say you're trading Bitcoin futures contracts and you take a long position, maybe you're following one of our signals in our group, and once you take that long position, let's say the market goes 5% in the direction you want it to go. Well, without any leverage, your $10,000 just made 5%. Great job. However, 5% of $10,000 is not that much money, and it's certainly not going to retire you or allow you to retire your wife or take a vacation around the world. Now, is it? However, if you go long with $10,000 and you're at 20x leverage, let's just do the math. What's $10,000 times 20? Now, that is 200,000 contracts that you have, and 200,000 contracts going long, and let's say there's a 5% move in the market. Now, you're making 5% move multiplied by 20. So do the math again, guys. Okay, now you got a 100% gain on a 5% move in the market. Now you just made $5,000 on that one trade instead of only $500. You see the difference here? So when trading Bitcoin futures contracts or futures contracts in general, because it doesn't matter what crypto you're trading, you can trade hundreds of cryptos on the platform that we use against USDT, or you can trade on what's called a Bitcoin margin or a coin margin, which means that every time you take a trade, you're going to make that crypto as a profit, not USDT or US dollars. So there are some differences there. The difference between crypto futures market and traditional stock market is vast. First of all, it's 24/7, 365. There are no market hours, whereas the stock market, you have to be glued to your desk and to your screen right at the opening of the market at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Now, depending on where you live in the country, that could be a problem. If you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, or you just have a regular job, you might have to be going to work during that time. You might be getting ready for work at 6 a.m. on Pacific time when the market opens at 9 a.m. Eastern time. By the way, the best moves in the stock market happen between 8:55 a.m. right before the market opens. You got to be prepared. And as soon as the market opens, there's usually some type of gap up or down. This is where the money is made in the stock market. It's between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern time. Once that's done, you should be done trading. You should be out. You got to know what you're doing in order to do that. Now, options, a whole nother animal altogether, and there's a lot more risk involved, guys. You got to understand what you're doing. I'm not saying you can't make a lot of money. I know people that do, but when you understand the futures contract trading market in the decentralized decentralized space, you can get involved with very little obstacles. You don't need a huge account. You don't have all the restrictions and regulations that you do in the centralized space, and you can pretty much call your own shots. You can trade any number of times you want per day, and you can fluctuate your leverage between 1x all the way up to 100x anytime you want with a push of a button. Now, some people say, well, yeah, but isn't leverage dangerous? Yes, it's kind of like as dangerous as putting a 20% down payment on a house. Let's say you bought a house for $500,000, you put down $100,000. You borrowed the rest from the bank. Now, as long as you have decent income and you can afford to make the mortgage payment, you're okay. It's only dangerous if you default. If you default, the bank can take back the house. That's leverage, right? Well, in the crypto space, the difference is this. You're not borrowing money from the bank or from the platform. You are selecting the amount of leverage that you want to use. So let's just say it's 20x. That means that your margin is the amount of money that you're risking on the trade. Let's just say it's $1,000 and you take 20x leverage on this trade. Now you're trading with 20,000 contracts. So when the market moves 1%, instead of making 1% on your $2,000, you're making 1% on $20,000. Now, if you take the 20,000 contracts and divide that by the leverage that you have, 20x, that's the amount you're actually risking. Now, I know that can be confusing. By the way, if you want to learn my complete system for becoming a consistently profitable crypto futures trader in just 4 hours per week, click the first link in the description to join my free training. Now, back to the video here. Section 2, why crypto futures are perfect for aspiring traders. The 4-hour per week advantage. It's real simple, guys. We kind of coined the phrase crypto wormhole because what we're doing is we're showing you how to collapse time. We're showing you how to get much further along in a much shorter period of time. And basically, I always ask people, do they watch television? In fact, it's kind of a trick question. I ask, do you have a television? And most people say yes. I say, how much did you pay for the television? Oh, 200, 500, 1,000, 5,000, numbers all over the place. But then I say, that's only what you paid for it. It's not what it's costing you. Because if you watch 4 hours of television per week, just 4 hours per week, you're leaving over $100,000 a year on the table. And how so? Well, it's real simple, guys. It only takes about 4 hours per week for you to replace a 6-figure income. I would love to show you how. There is a link in the description of this video where we go live. You can register for that live event. It's coming up this week. I will share my screen with you and show you exactly how we do this step by step. But for busy people, it's very important that you're able to extract money out of the Ethernet, literally pull money out of the thin air while you're doing other things. There's not many things that I know of that you can do where you can literally be busy working a job, running a business, and still trade full time in your spare time. And the reason why I say full time in your spare time is because it only takes 4 hours a week or less. You can do this while you're driving. You can do this while you're walking in the grocery store. You can do it at your kitchen table. You can do it in your bed, in your underwear, by the pool, in a hotel room, on a plane, anywhere. As long as you have an internet connection and a device, either a cell phone, an iPad, a desktop PC, or a laptop, you can literally siphon money out of the Ethernet. We do this day in and day out in the Crypto Renegades Mastermind, and we'd love to show you how. Once you get on one of our live webinars and watch us share our screens and trade live right in front of your eyes and watch me make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in minutes right in front of your face, I think that you'll be convinced that you can do this. And I think a lot of people get scared by it or they get intimidated by it because, for one, they're not experts in crypto. They're not experts in trading. They don't understand technical analysis and how to read the charts. And what I always tell people is that it doesn't even matter if you even know what you're doing if you're following a recipe. You know, we have people in our group that make winning trades, multiple double and triple digit gains almost on a daily basis, and they don't even know what they're doing. I know that sounds absurd, but the reason why it works is because they're learning while they're doing. They're just doing what we're showing them. If I tell you to enter right now at this price, put your stop loss at this price, put your take profit target at this price, and enter the position right here, and you just do it, you don't even really have to know what's happening or what's going on in order to get the same results that I'm going to get, right? Does that make sense? And so it's kind of like baking a cake. If you've never baked before and I invite you into my kitchen and I'm a master baker and I say, okay, mix this in the bowl, put the eggs in there, use this blender, mix it all up, pour it in this pan, put the oven on 350, slide the pan in the oven and wait 30, 40 minutes. And when you pull that cake out, it's as good as a master baker baked it. And the reason why is because you follow the recipe and you follow the instructions. You're going to get the same results as a master baker, right? Now, how many times does it take for you to do that, following my instructions, before you don't need me anymore, where you can just go home and bake your own perfect cake, right? Now, it's the same thing in the crypto space, guys. I do tell people it's like learning a new language. Sometimes it does seem a little bit confusing and difficult, but here's the thing. If I guaranteed you $500,000 at the end of 1 year to learn a new language, how many of you would take me up on that? If you knew you were going to get 500 grand at the end of 1 1 year, how many of you would actually learn the language? Most people say yes to that question because, heck, you're going to get paid to do it and you want to learn a new language anyway, right? But what if I told you that learning crypto trading is like learning a new language? However, the difference is you don't even have to be fluent in it to make a fortune. You just have to understand the basics. So imagine the language was Spanish and I took you to Mexico and we went to a restaurant. I'm telling you what to say to the waiter to get the order in that you want. All you have to do is repeat what I'm saying. You will get the same result as if I order it. You will get the same result as a fluent Spanish speaking person, correct? So the point is that I'm trying to make, guys, is all you gotta do is follow simple instructions. And if you do this over and over and over again, and you take the signals over and over again, you're gonna get the same results as the master traders. And like I said, we do multiple double and triple digit gains almost on a daily basis in our mastermind, and we'd love to show you how. So find the link in the description below this video, get on our next live event, and I'm sure your eyes will be open to the possibilities and you will see that this might be the best option for you. And I still trade the stock market. I have a stock portfolio, but I never look back once I started trading futures contracts, and I guarantee you'll have the same result. Hope to see you on the next video. Please like and share this video if you got anything from it, but get on our next live event and I'll be happy to share that with you.